I've been listening to this song all day. It's been my mood. I'm sorry. What's up, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. I'm hyped today. I'm hyped. I have listened to this song at least 17 times today. At least 17 times. If that one doesn't do it for you, how about this one? Cool, right? Oh my gosh. Guys, who else? Do what they told you. It is Monday, February 2nd, 2:02 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's the biggest day in the history of Bitcoin. There, I said it. And I mean it. There's never been a bigger news in the history of Bitcoin than Tesla putting $1.5 billion of their reserves in Bitcoin. It makes me think of this, actually.
Sir, now that you've got your check, do you plan on quitting your job driving this truck?
Truck driver? I ain't no truck driver. I'm a janitor.
Janitor?
That's right, baby. I just bought this truck straight cash. And I got enough cigarettes to last me and my family for the rest of our lives. I'm rich, biatch!
Right. Who's a fan of the Chappelle Show? Anyways, don't know if you noticed, but I figured out how to add videos to my stream like an hour ago. And it's amazing. It's amazing. So anyways, let's actually talk about what's important. I'm going to stop messing around here. So the big news of the day, it was announced that Tesla has purchased $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. This comes on the heels of Elon Musk obviously changing his Twitter bio name to hashtag Bitcoin and then removing it and scaring everyone. Him memeing his way through Dogecoin, talking about Bitcoin quite a bit. And as he said, seems somewhat inevitable. So my mom just texted me and said, "I'm so funny today." Thanks, Mom. It's cool. So anyways, Elon Musk, right? So what does this mean? Why is it important? Why do I think that it's so essential? It's very, very simple. And there's a few reasons that this is so important. First, I'd like to make the differentiation that people keep saying that Elon Musk bought Bitcoin. You have to understand that Elon Musk buying Bitcoin and Tesla buying Bitcoin are not the same thing, right? I would honestly bet that Elon Musk already owned Bitcoin long ago and probably bought it much cheaper. And in this case, Tesla is buying it as a reserve asset. I think it's much more important that Tesla bought it as a cash reserve asset than it is that Elon Musk buys it personally. Why is that? Well, first of all, Tesla is an $800 billion market cap company. And it's the company that everybody on Wall Street and around the world has been watching. This was sort of the company. If there was ever going to be one that would invest in Bitcoin, this is the one that I think would be the most impactful. More importantly, I think it puts pressure on a lot more companies and companies of that size and larger to start considering Bitcoin as a reserve asset. And most importantly, it's a very firm statement from Tesla that you cannot hold dollars. You cannot save dollars. You spend dollars, you save Bitcoin and other hard assets. So I think that it's just an absolutely huge move. I think that, now we've broken out technically of this range of trading and that hopefully 40,000 becomes sort of the Elon Musk floor and we see higher prices coming very soon. Now, I think it's also important to note it's not easy for a company to buy $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. We saw, MicroStrategy had to buy 16,000 microtransactions just to buy 400 million or 500 million the first time. So this is something that they were highly committed to and wanted to do and made it happen. And a lot of companies don't want to go through all that. But soon they'll be able to when we eventually have an ETF, which I think is now somewhat of an inevitability. And when the ETF comes, it's going to absolutely open the floodgates to these larger institutions who can buy the ETF. They can legally do it. It's a single asset. They don't have to worry about all these microtransactions and custody and all of these things. I cannot stress to you, this is the biggest day in the history of Bitcoin for me, period. And it ain't even close. I'm almost speechless thinking about it because it's everything that we ever dreamed of. And something I touched on Twitter, I don't even care about the price. Like, it's great that the price went up. It's amazing that we saw Bitcoin touch 44,000. But what's even better is the vindication, the confirmation that we were right, that's coming from a company like Tesla investing. All those people who told you were crazy, all those people who told you were nuts, who told you were buying vaporware, that Bitcoin was going to go to zero. No offense, but F them. They're wrong. They're wrong. And Tesla's not buying $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin so they can dump on you next week and pay short-term capital gains. Right? That 1.5 billion is off the market. That supply is gone. Consider it out of the market for a very, very, very long time. And let's think about what $1.5 billion means to Tesla. Almost nothing, right? It's an 800 billion market cap company. This is a small fraction, right? So you take MicroStrategy, which also owns about $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin, probably at this price. They're an 8 billion market cap company. So we're talking about 25% of their assets, depending on the price of Bitcoin, are in this asset. Tesla's testing the waters, right? Tesla's just buying a little bit here, seeing what happens, and they're going to buy more. If the price goes up, they're going to buy more, because the higher the market cap, the safer of an asset and the easier it is to be liquid. They're going to buy more, and they're going to buy more higher, not lower. And that's totally fine. Because when you buy something as a reserve asset, you don't care if the price is $5,000 lower or $5,000 more. And frankly, we all have fun trading. We look at charts, we do all these things. But when you see what these companies are doing, that's you as an investor, right? That's how you should be approaching this. You should be buying some. You should buy a little bit. You should buy it when you can, and you should just hold it, right? Buy, hold. Not saying that the hodlers have always been right, because everybody kind of laughed at them, but they're right. If you believe that this is a hedge against inflation, that it's the best way to store value, you don't sell it. You slowly buy it, right? And you invest more. While we're at this, I want to just take a look at the chart, because there's something so interesting when you look at the chart. And it's so funny, because I've gotten this criticism now multiple times, or comment, right? Let me zoom into this. Okay. This was the first. This is when Elon Musk changed his Twitter bio to #Bitcoin, right? And interestingly, we had drawn something like this at the time. This is what we were looking at as a resistance. It broke and went below. And so I said, hey, listen, this move as a result of the Elon Musk news made a perfect channel. Perfect channel. This is a perfect bull flag, right? 2 perfect touches to the top, to the bottom. I use wicks. Some people don't. They take issue with it. Everybody draws their stupid lines differently. Who cares? Draw your lines, bro. Have at it. I'm going to draw my lines. You do you. And everyone said, and I guess we can even zoom in further. Let's go to the 12-hour. And I pointed out at that point, I had said, we're bottomed. You were all here. We had this, I can't even draw it right now. Had this big bullish divergence everywhere from the hourly to the 12-hour, right? Right there. That was the bottom of this entire move in range. Right here, right? And it pumped up to 38. And what did people say when I said, hey, that was the bottom? It went up. They said, only because Elon Musk tweeted, bro. You're not right. You just got lucky. Elon Musk did it, man. So all weekend, I said we had a breakout. I tweeted, we're probably going to see a retest. It came down. It retested this to the dollar. I missed by $1, actually. Almost the dollar, right? And this right here is where everyone turned bearish. At support, like humans, you emotional train wrecks. Price is right here sitting on support, and everyone says the top is in and it's over. I calmly pointed out, hey man, this is demand. Like this is where you buy things. You buy things when they drop here, right? That's where you want to buy. Demand. And this is a retest. That's a lot of confluence of support. We should go up. So what happens? Tesla news comes out, Bitcoin skyrockets, and people start attempting to dunk on me saying, oh, bro, just got lucky, man. It's Elon Musk. Well, I'm going to send Elon Musk a fruit basket for making me look good. Doesn't change the fact that it happened, right? And I can't predict the future. I just know what charts say. And charts work because dummies get bearish at support because you're humans. It's kind of your thing, right? I mean, this was what I posted on Twitter with that. I didn't move this. Same thing. This is support. We had this long wick down into it and it held support. I said it when it happened. I said, we'll see something like this. This did it. It did it. Right. I'm coming back to the comments here. You guys are writing a lot of things. Yeah. Someone said emotional train wreck. I don't know if they're talking about me or themselves, but I'm fine with that. Just going through some tweets here. Funny how the breakout was hours ahead of the Musk tweet that weekend. That's right. That's absolutely true. Scott, you should offer a special on your newsletter today. This is interesting. So Review, the company that I use for my newsletter, doesn't allow you to offer specials. It's been a point of contention I've had with them forever. They were just bought by Twitter, so it's coming. But on Substack, you can say, hey, here's a discount for a year. It's not offered. I've been working with them to do that forever. I would love to give discounts like that. Right. So look, I mean, there's nothing bearish about Bitcoin here, right? I think that, we should see a floor building in this area. Here's your previous all-time high, right? We want to see this hold. But why wouldn't it? Even if it comes down and does one of these, right? These lines are not exact. Things break through and come back up. But this should just be the beginning. Nothing about the narrative has changed. We're only seeing further confirmation of the things that we've been saying forever. I'm really excited. I'm excited. I want to listen to MOP. It's awesome. You should be excited today. You should be really excited. You should give yourself a hug if you don't have any friends. You should. Scott, did your Bitcoin bull case target change this year? I don't, the thing is, I don't really have a target because nothing makes me look dumber than huge targets, right? So, listen, a 2x from here and we're at $90,000, a 3x and we're well into the hundreds, Bitcoin does a 3x almost every year when it's good. So I don't think that that's unreasonable. He sold at 41.K in January. Yes, I sold 5% of my holdings at 41.K in January. And you dummies like to remind me of it over and over again. And guess what? I'm so glad that I did. It's amazing to actually have money in your bank account and not just pray. And this is something that I actually talked about on Twitter yesterday. So listen, when you're a trader or an investor and things go to a certain level, you start to scale out, right? And there's an emotional part of you when you're a beginning trader. Say you bought something at $100, it goes to $200, and you're like, I'm taking out 25% of this, right? And you sell 25% at $200. You've locked in profit. You still have 75% of your position left. But what do your emotions tell you? That you want it to go down, right? Emotionally, you're like, I sold. I wanted to see it go down. I don't want to be wrong that I sold too early. It's so stupid. Yeah, I sold a little Bitcoin at 41.5. And guess what? Now the other 95% of my stack is at $43,000. Oh, bro, but you sold. Diamond hands. I'm going to have diamond encrusted hands in real life. It's just going to be I'm not a material person, but I might actually buy hands made of diamonds if it keeps going. And then you can talk about how I sold at 50K because I will. I'll have, yes. This is sarcasm because it's from a friend, but have fun staying poor. I am. I'm going to have fun staying slightly poor. Diamond hands. I hear, man, but I feel there's a paradigm shift coming. I'm assuming you mean because I'm talking about taking profit. Yeah. First of all, 99% of the profit I've taken is all the altcoins that I have. They're up hundreds and thousands of percents. Every day I'm selling. I can't, I have to sell something. Portfolio is getting too big, just the way it is. But I'm not particularly interested in selling much Bitcoin. I'll sell a little Bitcoin. It's fine. It's fine. And you know what? I'm going to have more money worth of Bitcoin as it goes up, even if I sell a little bit. Yeah. Well, whatever. I'm just randomly clicking on things here. I don't know. So yeah, Michael Jackson gloves. Yes. My parents are obviously watching. They can attest to the fact that I was a very big Michael Jackson fan, and we used to like dress up in the outfits and try to do the dances and stuff. So that's cool. Anthony asked my thoughts on on-chain analytics and order flow. So not really my specialty. And honestly, today I've been too busy to look. And I work with a company called Into the Block. They write for my newsletter every Wednesday. They choose an asset, usually Bitcoin or Ethereum, and do a full on-chain analysis. So I basically just like look to them and wait for them to to tell me. So I don't really have a thought there. Lots of successful traders are they're taking profits. Of course. Guys, I love Bitcoin. I believe in Bitcoin. If you have enough money sitting in anything that can literally change your life, you take some of that money. Guys, and it's never all or nothing. Nobody's ever telling you to just sell everything or to buy it all at once. You scale out, you scale in, be a reasonable human being. Don't be such a spaz, right? You have to ring the cash register. I know so many people who call themselves professional traders and never sell anything. If you're a professional anything, then that thing that you are pro at should be the thing that you're paying your bills doing, correct? How do you pay your bills if you never take profit? How do you pay for your kids' private school if you never take profit? Don't be a jackass. Don't be a jackass. Everything in life, not just trading, is about balance. You should be not only invested in Bitcoin. If you're 21 years old and you've got a couple $1,000s in Bitcoin and it's all you've got in the world, that's also stupid because you should have an emergency fund. You should have cash in case something goes wrong. But if all of your investments are in it, fine, great. I'm a 44-year-old man with a family. Sorry that one of my fingers lacks diamond, right? Oh man, you guys, so many people are angry about profit. It's like, were you here in 2017? Listen to yourself. It's the same thing everyone went through, myself to a large degree included. Your principles will leave you broke if you watch it go to zero just because you can never sell. Everybody has a price. Everybody has a price. And I'm holding 95% of the Bitcoin that I had and feeling pretty good about myself. I'm going to go try to see what the other charts are looking at, because I haven't even looked. Opened a couple here. Ethereum, Bitcoin, my God. I would buy this. I'd buy this. Inverse head and shoulders that goes back to 2018 on the Ethereum Bitcoin pair, consolidating against the neckline. This should blast. That's the target based on the depth on a log scale chart, but I think Ethereum's just getting started. What's it look like against the dollar? If Ethereum's going to drop, mind you, we did not see this retest on Bitcoin. Bitcoin never came back and retested the all-time high, but this is the all-time high, right? Previously. So do that and go up. And this right here is where your favorite influencer will be bearish and telling you that Ethereum is going to zero. Because that's why charts work. people get bearish at support and bullish at resistance. How many times have you bought resistance or a huge green candle just to see it immediately go down? It's because we're all the same. We all have to fight that instinct. So I mean, I would have said that this was an ascending wedge, but in bull moves, I think that we break ascending wedges all the time. So this is how I would draw it, right? It almost became a meme in 2017 that Bitcoin on the way up, literally, it would just make it's doing it right there too. This is Ethereum, but it would make these ascending wedges and then break up, and they would always be bullish. So that's what's happening here. It's breaking above an ascending wedge. Fine. Everything here looks bullish. Even with this retrace, I think Ethereum looks great. All right, let's zoom into this pattern. That's the weekly, by the way. Well, I didn't even see this, but I guess I had that trade. That was a newsletter pennant. Cool. Look at that target right there. Right? That's pretty sweet. This looks like it's an ascending channel at the moment. Never take profit, man. How's that going for the game stoppers? I would imagine that their game will be stopped. That might come down, do something like that. I like this because there's resistance at this channel. There's support at this channel, support, resistance. Maybe it comes down, but you want to see this above this. And if it breaks down, it really doesn't. The target's only kind of like down in here. No big deal. So I would say you want to buy in this region if Ethereum, Bitcoin drops. But I think that this is consolidating generally against this. I think this is fine. Oh, looks good. I had to pull this up because you're a paid shill, man. Why are you always talking about e-gold? Because it's awesome. Right? We rode Elrond when it was ERD. I started sharing amazing setups in the newsletter at 15 sats against Bitcoin, and it went to 300, I think. That they rebranded to e-gold, it dropped. And I said, got a rounding bottom. This is your breakout. And on a rounding bottom, you don't get the consolidation of a cup and handle. You don't get that chance to retest and buy it. You have to buy it on the way up. And we've had literally entries at every single one. This one missed recently. Never came back down. At $42, it hit $200 today. Excuse me. It hit, I don't know. This thing won't get out of the way. It hit $198. 19x. 19x. 19 times your money if you just bought a little and didn't spaz. Kept your shit together and didn't sell it. And this I have not taken profit on. Not a penny. Because I love the project. I think it can go a lot higher over time. Unbelievable. Somebody asked me to look at Ren. John Sirwatch, who you should follow on Twitter. Guy's awesome. So I asked me before to look at this. See, it still looks bullish. I mean, none of this is like really bothering me. Like all of these coins are dropping back towards supports, but nothing's breaking a key support here. I actually am somewhat encouraged looking at these charts at how we're holding up. I would say that, if you get another entry in this area on Ren, that'd be sweet. Don't know if it'll get there, but you're obvious, if you're looking at it from a supply and demand perspective, maybe this, something like that. Come down in there, which it just did. It touched. I mean, that's not bad. LRC, you asked me to look at this as well. Like again, coming back to a key area of support and holding it. Matic, the last free newsletter about 11 days ago was here. And I said, these are my 3 entries that I'm interested in. Bang, bang, and bang. This one got it here, came up here, came up, and today, here. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. It's just what kind of should happen if the chart goes well. But I think Matic looks really bullish above 153 sats, even with this crazy candle and what happened today. But you got to be careful. If Bitcoin rages to 50K right now, we know what's going to happen to the alts on their Bitcoin pairs, right? And then I'll get the tweets. But Scott, man, what are you talking about? Alts don't look good. Like my USD balance looks kind of fine, man. It's like slightly down. Bitcoin's up like 15% and you're flat. That means you've lost 15% of your Bitcoin. Maths are fun. Someone asked me to look at Engine because I had this, right? Listen, this is support. Let's see where this candle closes. But when I posted this, I said, this is where I'd put a stop. I'm not trading this. I'm not even on Binance. But I said, listen, if I entered here, this is the next support, and I want enough room for a wick below. So like, yeah, they were like, should I sell that position? I don't know. That's up to you, bro. But I showed you what I would do. This is where I would be looking at it, right? I'm going to come back to the comments for a minute, and then I'm going to try to find some more charts for us to look at. Did it use Pitchfork? All right. Yeah, waves. Sure. I'll take a look at waves. Love waves. I even drew a little surfer guy when I figured out I could make videos. Yeah, guys, that looks like Bitcoin a day ago. That looks good on the USDT pair. Nothing has changed about this setup. It's come back down to test former resistance as support of this bull flag. This is what I drew last time when I talked about it. I did it too big. He's going to have a really little head and body and hang out, man. Yeah, surfing. Surf the waves. That looks fine. And against Bitcoin, it's hanging out on support. So listen, if Bitcoin rages, these could all break support. But right now, all this did was force a whole bunch of alts to support. So what is everyone going to do? Get super bearish at support. Right? I've been taking profit when things were going up. I don't care. I don't want to sell them when they go down. Unless I have a trailing stop or something. Take profit on the way up. That way you don't feel dumb when it all drops. This guy's awesome. This is a good question. Where's the wolf painting? It's still being painted. It's still being painted, but it's amazing. It's in the United Kingdom. I commissioned Trevor Jones to do a huge wolf painting. It's going to go right there. Those are going to come down. It's the size of like half of that wall. It's going to be amazing. Someone asked me about Litecoin. I haven't looked at Litecoin in a while. Let's take a gander. I'll close some of these. Yes, I want to leave. Told you I want to leave. Guys, it's really dangerous that I can now like download videos and play them on here. I'm telling you, it's not good. Not good. Litecoin. Oh, Litecoin, Bitcoin exactly tap support today. I haven't even looked at this chart. That's support. It bounced off support. In fact, made a very slight bullish SFB. Right? When you get a wick below this swing low, which effectively is the all-time low, kind of on the Bitcoin pair. I don't know. This is on Binance, so no, it's probably not. And price bounce. A lot of buying interest here. It's going to take a lot to push price lower than that. Like if you were just had standing orders, if you're the kind of person who's like, I'm going to put my stink bids in and I'm going to chill and I'm going to go to bed one night. I'm going to wake up Litecoin rich. This is where you would have put your bids. You're not up that much, a couple percent, but like it bounced in a predictable spot. Every time we're looking at these, they're sitting on support. So yes, another Bitcoin push could push them through support, but they all bounced exactly where you would have expected. Litecoin dollar. I mean, we got a double bottom here. $273. That's where I think it's going. And this looks like sort of a flag kind of situation happening. Right? Break, retest, move up. Flipping support. Litecoin looks good on the dollar pair. It's had support on the Bitcoin pair. Fine. Let's see what other alts are doing on Binance. Holy shit. Talk about SFP Bitcoin. I've never heard of that, but I just mentioned a bullish SFP. Up 1,155.47%. There's your bullish SFP. There's coins that are still moving here, man. A lot of coins are up 15, 20, 10%. Yeah, most are whatever. Most are kind of treading water. And here's the team wrecked. Team wrecked. Let me see if there's anything here that I care to look at. Let's look at Theta. Looked at that last week. It was interesting. I like to go, if you guys are wondering, I've told you this before, but I like to kind of go in the middle, up 2%, down 2%, something with a little bit of volume. Yikes. Yeah, I don't like those wicks. That's doo-doo. That one's kind of against resistance. That's just a kind of a silly chart, honestly. I'd say delete all of this. Had to somewhat figure it out. Zooming in, I would view this as one big ass trading range. Never take profit, bro. Hold to the grave. Die with all of my assets. Bury with my gold. I had a bunch of Peter Schiffs out here. Peter Schiff literally tweeted at CZ from Binance that 1 month ago that Elon Musk would never, ever be stupid enough to buy Bitcoin as a reserve asset. Yikes. Go to sleep, old man. God. Theta, I don't see anything interesting. Maybe you flip this. EQ, heads up, but whatever. I mean, listen, if you're a knife catcher, there's a lot of alts right now that seem to have tapped support. I just love Ethereum. I love it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm nuts. I think it's going to go bananas, though. Okay, I'm going to go back to my solo mode. Look at that hair. This is COVID cut. Embarrassing. Wow, it still says, where's the wolf painting on my screen, doesn't it? Stupid. Whatever. Let me see what else we got. I fell short of my abusive vocab for Peter. Yeah, he's just, listen, Peter Schiff is a brilliant economist. The guy is brilliant. He's brilliant. But now he's just really emotionally attached to his position. And I was just on a live stream with Mike McClone from Bloomberg, who was like my favorite person in the industry. And we literally agreed on everything today. But I said something. They asked me about Peter Schiff and said, everyone's making fun of him. And I was like, yeah, I was being an idiot. And Mike and I agreed. I said, listen, if Peter Schiff changes his position on Bitcoin, it's time to sell everything. You need people on the other side of the trade. You need naysayers. You need haters. The minute everyone agrees, it's over. So I would really prefer that Peter Schiff stay angry. He's a great sign of the sentiment that we need for price to continue up. There have to be people like that. If everybody agrees and thinks it's amazing, that's when we're going to get dumped upon. And yes, this is correct. This is correct. Peter Schiff is smarter than all of you. He's a brilliant, brilliant man. Brilliant. He's just got this one totally wrong and is emotionally attached to it. Humans are all the same, man. People hate admitting when they're wrong. There's no price that Bitcoin can hit where he'll be like, I was wrong. Still trashed, vaporware. You're all getting scammed. What? No, it's coffee. It's coffee. I don't drink cola. That stuff kills you. Coffee is good for you. Let's go back up. This is the weirdest comment I've ever seen. So I'm going to put it up there because I don't understand what it means. Anyone want to interpret that into English for me? Cool. Does a Bitcoin bear market ever look like the previous ones? Would these billionaires actually let Bitcoin drop 80-something%? Sure. Assets drop 80% all the time. I don't think that's necessarily going to happen. But parabolic moves often retrace 80%. We just did it. We were all here in 2018. It's not a lot of coffee, dude. It's a lot of ice. Give me a break. It's not a lot of coffee. Yeah, I think that it could, but I think that it's not going to happen anytime soon. There's no reason for it. We're seeing supply removed from the market by the billions, right? We see exchange outflows, not inflows. We're not seeing massive amounts of Bitcoin being sent to exchange to be sold. We're seeing massive amounts of Bitcoin bought on exchanges and being removed to cold storage. Simple supply demand. And every time one of these companies buys Bitcoin, there's no intention to sell it anytime soon. You don't buy a reserve asset to day trade. Does not happen. These public companies, to get board approval and the lawyers and everyone on board just to buy it, can you imagine them flipping around saying, maybe sell it tomorrow? Not going to happen. Supply is being removed from the market. Price should continue up. The price of a Bitcoin was $3,800 11 months ago. $3,800. Right? And now what? Now what? Well, ask me this. Watch.
Sir,
here's everyone who bought it
got your check.
$3,800.
You plan on quitting your job driving this truck?
Truck driver. I ain't no truck driver. I'm a janitor.
Janitor?
That's right, baby. I just bought this truck straight cash. And I got enough cigarettes to last me and my family for the rest of our lives. I'm rich, biatch!
Yeah. Right? If you bought Bitcoin 3,800, you're rich. Rich person. So, yeah, I don't think... I've been looking at these comments and some that I just don't know, man. When do you envisage? When do you envisage trading platforms will have an issue with the lack of Bitcoins? We've already seen it. eToro ran out of Bitcoin like 3 weeks ago or a month ago. They literally sent out a thing and said, we're not going to be able to fill your orders. We don't have Bitcoin. This is not like an idea. There's a real lack of supply, and demand is only increasing. Anecdotally, how many of you have had someone ask you about Bitcoin in the last month, or call you today to ask you, hey, Elon Musk likes it. Like, maybe it's good for me too. Everybody. They're going to buy it at 50,000 and 75,000. 100,000. Probably buy it at 300,000. But yes, I do envision a time when trading platforms will have an issue with lack of Bitcoins. Already seen it. Just happened to eToro. Ha ha ha. That's not what my friends bought Doge. My most non-crypto friends asked me about Doge in the last few days. And I tweeted something about this yesterday. I don't remember the exact words, but it basically said the people who think Doge is going to $10 are smoking rocks and should be institutionalized post haste. It's like 7 cents. People are out here talking about $10. $10. It's 7 cents. Do you know what the market? I don't know the answer, but what would the market cap of Doge be if it was $10? Guys, Doge is not an investment. It's my favorite. And the thing is, I got all this hate. Don't talk about our asset, bro. I've been Doging for like 2 weeks, and it's like my life, Doge life. I'm like, dude, I've traded 3 Doge cycles for 10Xs in the last 4 years. And you think I'm the anti-Doge. I love Doge, but it's not going to $10. And if it does, okay, you got lucky, but it's not going to $10. It's 7 cents and has no intrinsic value except being an awesome meme. Right? Use your fucking brain. Scott, solid gold content. What are your thoughts on residents of high tax jurisdictions for this year? I think they're going to move. We're already seeing it. People are leaving California and New York. My friends I had a conversation with a close friend of mine yesterday. He was like, I paid like effectively 54% in taxes last year in New York City. And it cost him $100,000 a year for his 2 children to go to private school. And they're in like kindergarten. It's as much as you pay to go to Harvard. And that's a ripoff. People in high tax jurisdictions are sick of it. They're sick of it. Listen, I hate my taxes, but I pay every penny of them. But yeah, it sucks. And I live in Florida where I'm paying probably effectively 12 or 13% less overall than my friends in New York. But the problem is, where are you going to go? Right? You have a life. Like if you have a life, a family, kids, like you go where you're happy, you know? Home is where the heart is. Taxes, But yeah, I think that high net worth individuals, we see it. They're migrating to Florida. We see a lot of popularity for crypto companies moving to Miami. And then the end game for an American is that you go to Puerto Rico. And my favorite, I think my like favorite narrative is, dude, if you don't like taxes in the United States, just move, bro. Like come to Portugal. We've talked about this. You don't get to stop paying taxes because you move to another country. You don't get to do that. No matter where you live, all you do is pay for taxes for all the services you don't get because you're living in a foreign country. So you get to pay for the roads back in the United States, which by the way suck. And it's not like our taxes go to anything good anyways. You can't just leave the United States and stop paying taxes here. You can renounce your citizenship. And then what happens? You still owe for the next 10 years before you get out of it. So yeah, I can move to Portugal and pay taxes here. The only place that you can move in the United States and get a tax break is Puerto Rico. Oh, Puerto Rico. Oh. Yeah, go to Puerto Rico because they have 4% taxes. You still remain a United States citizen, and you get to forego federal taxes. Right? But you have to live in Puerto Rico. You can't like pretend to live in Puerto Rico. You can't just like buy an apartment in Puerto Rico. You got to move there. They track you. You got to be there 6 months in a day. If you got a family, your kids need to be in school there. You can't just like buy a place. This person has asked me 17 times, can you see Doge chat? And that literally doesn't mean anything. Can I see Doge chat? I love lamp. What are you asking, man? Stop. Yes, cost of living if you move somewhere else. Cheap. There's no good route for an American to avoid taxes, though. That's all I'm saying. You're not going to get out of paying taxes. You told me to ban the guy who asked me about the Doge chat. Oh, look, he's doing it again. Look. Oh my gosh, you can do that? This person said just ban him. Watch. Oh, man. The guy's spamming it so fast that I can't even get the comment I want. Watch this. I'm going to put this person in timeout. Like my kids. You're in timeout. Don't know when you'll be back. When you want to apologize to your brother, you can come back. Oh my God, I'm drunk with power. I can ban people. What's your plan for transferring wealth to your kids? That's a good question. It's hard when you do well in crypto to figure that out. I hold my Bitcoin as I've made no like mystery. Like it's in Multisync, and I have people I trust who could theoretically access that, but I cannot send any significant amount of Bitcoin period without going to 3 different geographic locations with different safes. One's in a bank safety deposit box because I'm scared. It's how it is. So if someone unfortunately attacks me or tries to access me, they're going to be really, really disappointed. Because when you're your own bank, you have to make your money really difficult even for you to get access to. But my intention is that I have a stash of Bitcoin that I plan to hold forever and hand to my kids. As for the other wealth, I don't know. Work on a trust, figure it out, do it the right way. Haven't gotten there. Can you please try to predict the next Bitcoin dip? I would love to do that, but I don't make predictions because I have no idea. No idea. And this is very true. This is a huge problem. But there are companies that are working on this. There are companies. It's difficult to transfer assets to kids' crypto. If we die without giving the password, it's all gone. Don't like that. Yeah, you got to like basically put together a scavenger hunt. Kids love scavenger hunts. I wonder if that guy is still banned. This feels good. Yeah. I'm working on becoming unbanked. Could you do a newsletter on this? Do you know Plutus? I do know Plutus. There's a couple Plutuses. There's Plutus DeFi, and then there's Plutus, the credit card. Becoming unbanked is incredible. What's interesting is that so many people in the world are unbanked, but not by choice. Even in Mexico, I had someone on the podcast. He said 6 out of 10 people are unbanked in Mexico. It's really crazy. Really crazy. Can you see the Doge chat? Can you see the Doge chat? Can you see the Doge chat? But I know you're kidding, so I'm not going to do it to you. My wife's in the comments answering questions. He was asking about a Roadster, though. We didn't get a Roadster. But yes, they've pushed our Tesla date back. Has not arrived yet. Want to chart some H-bar, bro? Okay, well, I'll get to that. But what's your recommendation for hardware wallets? Well, listen, I was a Ledger user. I don't like what happened there, so I switched. I have an Engrave coming, which I've had coming for 6-7 months, but I, bought it on like their Kickstarter. And I have a SafePal that I just got, which I think is great, but I use quite a few. And Multisync, you use ledgers and Trezors, but no Bitcoin's actually on them. If you guys aren't familiar with Multisync, obviously there's sort of the evolution of being your own bank, which starts with, I'm just going to leave it on an exchange. And then it becomes, what's this hardware wallet thing? I'm going to send it to a hardware wallet. And then you send it to a hardware wallet. And after a while, it gets kind of big and you're like, shit, like there's a lot of money on this thing. Like, what if I forget the password or drop it in a boating accident or something? And then you take the next step to Multisig. And Multisig, you have 5 devices. None of them have your Bitcoin on them. They're all signing devices. You spread them out geographically, and you need 3 out of 5 of them to send a Bitcoin transaction. But you actually throw away your private keys. You don't hold your private keys because there's no Bitcoin actually on them, and it's a liability. And so when you want to send something, you have to go retrieve 3 of those devices from where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? That's for the boomers. And one by one, you have to confirm that you're going to do it. So, do you drop BlockFi? Can I trust it? So yes, I have a stack on BlockFi. I have a stack on Voyager. I have a stack on Celsius. And I'm thinking about Nexo because I like earning interest. But my core holdings are on Multisync. And I mean, listen, I've been hacked a couple times. And when I was SIM swapped, BlockFi was amazing. This was almost a year ago. And they shut down, I emailed them. They shut down my account completely. They kept it locked for 2 weeks. They required a video interview with me to confirm that it was me after 2 weeks. Had to hold my ID, talk to them, do all these things to confirm my identity. They take it really, really seriously. And on BlockFi and a lot of these platforms, you have a whitelist, right? So you keep your whitelist empty and you cannot send Bitcoin. you have to go in and add an address. And after you add an address that you've whitelisted, you then need another week before you can send to that address. That's pretty secure. Exchanges have gotten a lot better. Where in the world is Carmen San Diego? Scott, can you send Bitcoin to the multi? Yes, you can send Bitcoin to the multisig like any other transaction. You just send it to the single public address. It's removing it that requires work. And you can lose 2 of those keys. Listen, then you can replace them. Like if you lose one, your house burns down, boating accident, then you replace it with another device. It's amazing. It's amazing. I sleep very well at night knowing that I can't even do something stupid. Oh, my wife loved Carmen San Diego. You learn something every single day. Scott, YFL looks like ass. Let's see. Let's see if YFL looks like ass. I'm not confident that I can say that YFL looks like ass. It might, though. It's possible. Let's see. I don't think it looks like ass. I think it just hasn't done much. It's fine. Oh, it's just kind of boring. I don't even think that line matters. I think that line matters. I would redraw this, but I would say that this is doing this. I mean, shit, probably making a channel. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see if we look like ass. I don't think that's so assy. I think it'll eventually break out and go up. It's fine. Hold your horses, dude. Hold your horses. Be patient. It's fine. Fine. Why do you use Celsius and BlockFi? And Voyager is actually my favorite one. Because Voyager I use to trade, and when I'm not trading and when I am trading, I'm earning interest. Which is amazing. 1 second. I'm going to bite this ice and someone's infuriated by that. But I use them to eliminate counterparty risk. If one of them gets hacked, I don't lose everything. So I spread it around. You know, get some different interest rates. Someone asked me thoughts on eGold. Already did it. XO is fantastic. Highly recommend. Celsius is legit. Right? Does Voyager have leverage? No. And that's why you should use it. Leverage is the fastest way to lose all your money. Listen, I love personally leverage trading. I think it's great for people who know what they're doing, who are responsible, and use low leverage. It's fine. If you're a person who uses a stop loss, leverage is somewhat irrelevant, right? And the advantage. All right, I'm trying to think how to put this. Most people find out about leverage and they think, hey, I have $1,000, but I can use 10x leverage and trade like I have $10,000. No. What you're going to do is increase your risk of losing $1,000, not your chance of winning to the upside. All you're doing is increasing your risk. If you assume as a trader that you're going to be wrong most of the time and plan to lose, you don't want more leverage because you realize that you're increasing your downside more than you're increasing your upside. So what is the point of leverage? For me, especially in crypto, I think it's great for eliminating some of that counterparty risk I talked about, especially for huge traders. This is not for little dudes. Huge traders. If you're trading with, say, a $10 million stack, you can use 10x leverage and only hold $1 million on the exchange instead of holding $10 million on the exchange. That's an incredible benefit. But when it comes to leverage, if you're going to place your stop loss on spot or leverage, whatever, let's say you're taking a position at $10,000 and your stop is at $9,800, 2% loss, right? If your stop loss is there, you can use leverage. You're not going to get liquidated. As long as your stop loss is above your liquidation, then leverage is a meme. It doesn't matter. people brag about their 100x leverage. If your stop loss is a 0.5% below your entry because that's where you wanted to enter and that's where you wanted your stop loss, have at it. Use 100x leverage. Doesn't matter. Right? You have to use a stop loss. You have to manage your risk, and then you can define your leverage accordingly. But most people just lose all their money using leverage, and it just increases how fast you do it. This guy says stop losses is for pussies. Have fun staying poor. Can you please give your analysis on Litecoin USDT? I just did that. I did that already. Excuse me, please tell us the future direction of Bitcoin again. I'm always watching from Jen. Not trying to be harsh, but I have no idea what's going to happen in the future. And if you're asking someone what's going to happen in the future, you have no business trading. If you believe somebody can tell you what's going to happen, this is not personal towards you. This happens all the time. If you believe that there's anyone out there on Twitter who can tell you with any assuredness that the price of anything is going to definitely go in a certain direction, run as fast as you can because they are a scammer. Scammer. They want your money. Hey, Scott, would your profit-taking strategy change if you had a traditional 9-to-5 as well? I don't have a traditional 9-to-5, but like I do other things. I don't think it would change. I just think that like if you don't have time to commit to it, you should just invest. Dollar cost average, call it a day. Yeah. Any advice on avoiding high gas fees on Uni? I don't know, man. Boy, dude, I've been paying them. It sucks. The other day I spent like $269 on a transaction. I've spent probably 5 figures selling things on Uniswap in the last couple of weeks. It's miserable. There are platforms and other blockchains. Listen, I had Justin Sun on my podcast, and he informed me that like 80% of USD transactions or 70% were being sent on TRX. And I was like, it's true. He's actually right. And it's not the huge transactions, but people who are spending small amounts can't afford gas fees. Move it to Tron, and it's like basically free. And there are other blockchains that you can move things around faster. Listen, I use Uniswap for the convenience, the liquidity. If I need to get out of a position, I know that I can fill it. To me, that's valuable. But like, listen, I've been trying out Matcha, Matcha. Matcha. It's awesome. It's awesome. So there are other options, but at the moment, I just kind of bend over and take it. Basically, Uniswap is like, don't drop the soap, right? Do you think Apple could make the same move like Musk? In theory, but yet again, it's sort of what I talked about before, is that Bitcoin, and maybe we're getting there now, but Bitcoin has to actually be more expensive for these companies to be able to invest, not less. Because they need the market cap larger, they need more liquidity, they need it to be a bigger asset. I mean, they've got, Apple's market cap, Microsoft, all these are in the trillions. So I think an ETF would give them a way to do it. And I think if price was 70, 80, 90, $100,000, they could do it. Sure. But small amount. But yeah, I think that it could happen. Somebody was asking me do you really use Voyager for all trades? No, not for all trades, for the things that are there, but that's where I trade Bitcoin. And that's where I dollar cost average into Ethereum and Bitcoin. Yeah. I was trading heavily on Binance. I got kicked off. It's really completely changed my trading world. I don't have access to the coins that I used to watch largely. I trade on Binance.us. The liquidity is a little brutal. What is that album under Fleetwood Mac? Looks like Phil Collins. The Fleetwood Mac is actually Skeetwood Mac, and he's holding a gun and a 40 bottle. These are remix projects I once upon a time put out. And that's Phil Collins, but it's Trill Collins. Trill Collins. Look it up. It's awesome. How often do you DCA? Well, I have bigger DCA buys weekly, and I use Roundly X with Voyager, and it rounds up all my small transactions. I buy Ethereum every single day. Every single day. A lot of people have asked me to chart ADA. I haven't looked at it in a long time, so let me look. You guys probably can't even see my screen right now. So, wish I could get rid of this comment. I don't know how. There it goes. Look, added my chart. It's cool, man. This program's cool. My charts are no longer super lame. I mean, my streams. Wow, ADA is booming. Guess that bear div was only for a small retrace, huh? I mean, this is pushing it. 84 RSI. I mean, how far do we have to go back to find any? I mean, on Kraken, which is where I'm looking at this for some reason, this is in full price discovery. And this just flipped the key support. And once again, is retesting its support. Like I think, well, listen, somebody asked me to chart ADA clearly in January. And this is what I drew. I hadn't looked at it since. Shit. Damn, I'm good. Should have probably traded that. ADA looks good. It's holding support. All right, now on this pair. So where else will we look? Here. Right? But you could draw back to like here or back to like here. Right? It's all the kind of same area, but maybe nope, not that, like that. Here. Huge swing high. But this is really this is a big flip here. It's important. I like that. That's good. Oh, it's already 3 o'clock. FFS, people. Gotta roll. Wow, that's the real you. Not fake. No, I don't agree. I don't think that he is Satoshi Nakamoto. Don't think so. That'd be a really great story if it was. But I've got to go, guys. I didn't even mention, speaking of leverage, use it responsibly. This stream is sponsored by Femex. You should sign up for my newsletter. It's great. I feel like I need some exit music. Let's do this. Oh, man. We're going to go back to the beginning, though. We're going to turn the volume up. Come on, guys. This is it. We're ending it.